at Opryland Theme Park in Nashville. July 4th meant a day of river rides, roller coasters, and real down-home bluegrass. In Chicago, it was a double celebration as the rock band Chicago marked 20 years of making music with a few of their friends in attendance. John Williams and the Boston Pops were back home on the...
This is meteorologist Chuck Taylor with a special weather update. Heavy thunderstorms have now moved well to the east of the Louisville area, but in southern portions of Kentucky, they are still getting severe weather with strong wind gusts, even some hail and some very heavy rain. In fact, a severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for Adair and Greene counties in south central portions of Kentucky until 8:30. Up around the Cincinnati area, they have been getting some serious flooding. They get 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now, look to the west. New thunderstorms are developing over Illinois, and it looks like another line of very heavy thunderstorm activity will be tracking in our direction and will be arriving here probably between 11 o'clock and midnight, and we'll certainly watch that situation. Well, the winds whipped to about 78 miles an hour, and look what the wind did to one of the flags in Jefferson Square. It ripped a hole right in the middle of the flag. Also downtown, more serious damage atop the Citizens Tower. The winds, or perhaps a lightning bolt, ripped down a slab of concrete from the 30th floor lines. Tonight, thousands more people are without power, many times for the second time. In many cases for the second time. I'm Doug Prophet. I'll have a live report from LG&E next.
And I'm Melissa Swan here at City and County Disaster and Emergency Services, where crews are being dispatched to take care of downed trees in the roadways. One of the downed trees landed on the mayor's house. I'll have that story coming up live.
Also tonight, Chuck Taylor with the latest on news storms moving through. The Action 11 News 19 is next.
We have an update now on the storm damage in southern Indiana tonight. Let's go to Rick Redman live in Jeffersonville to see how the folks are coping across the river.
Well, Gary, the rain, as we had mentioned just a little bit earlier, has started again. We have noticed some lightning here. Storm damage not only throughout southern Indiana, but as we had mentioned earlier, throughout Kentuckiana. And the storm shook nerves and rattled and scared people, everyone, as a matter of fact, who was in it. The hurricane-force winds blew windows out of the Huckleberry restaurant in Jeffersonville, while people inside watched.
I was praying. I was just sitting there, not out loud, but praying, Lord, just don't take the whole building, just spare us.
The roof lifted right off this apartment building in southern Jefferson County. Mary Ann Hazel was in her apartment with 3 children.
So the rain, it just started raining real hard, and next thing I know, the roof was coming off the sucker, and my kids was hollering. I had my baby in my arm, and I was trying to hold him because he was having a seizure. My little girl, she has seizures. My son, 9 years old, he has a bad heart, and I'm trying to get him down the steps.
Fire officials declared the building unsafe and said its dozen residents would have to leave.
Vacate the premises for the time being till we can get an evaluation from a structural engineer and architect on the stability of the structure itself.
The driver of this car will be glad to go home safe tonight. A tree on Blue Lick Road damaged his car, but not him.
I was just driving down the road and I seen a tree coming down. So I tried to stop, and when I couldn't stop, I just laid down the seat.
Power outages sent people throughout Kentuckiana scurrying to stores for candles, flashlights, and batteries. Some stores felt the crunch.
We've had quite a few customers come through to buy things from our deli department and flashlights, and we're completely sold out on flashlights and batteries right now. So.
But some other grocery stores suffered through power outages of their own. A Poplar Level Road Key Market covered frozen foods and meats to try to hold in the cold. But milk, cheese, eggs, and other products will probably perish.
Most of it won't be any, worth consuming from consumers, so just throw it away in the garbage.
17! But some people still managed to have fun through the trouble. Die-hard bingo players played by candlelight at the Westchester Shopping Center on Terry Road. It was for a good cause. Proceeds go to the Special Olympics.
It was out when we got here, but we kept hoping they would come back on. So we're playing until they do.
The lights are still out here in much of Jeffersonville and Clark County. As you can see behind me, power lines are down in Allison Lane. Crews are still on the scene trying to put things back together. They hope to get some of this done tonight, and they're hoping that round 2 of the storm that appears to be coming through now, or at least on its way, will not cause them any more problems. Reporting live from Jeffersonville, I'm Rick Redman with a live action cam.
Thank you, Rick. We can get some answers to that right now from Chuck Taylor.
Well, we are getting the second round of showers and thunder showers, but they are greatly weakened. About the only cell of fairly intense activity is down around Fort Knox, and that should stay just south of the Louisville area. In our forecast for tonight, in our preview forecast, we are still mentioning thunderstorms rumbling around for the next few hours, but it appears the threat of any real severe weather is now beginning to diminish. The overnight low will be near 67. Tomorrow will be very hot, a high temperature of 94 degrees. And for tomorrow night, look for a chance of more thunderstorms with an overnight low of 76. We have the showers and thunder showers right in the region now. The heaviest activity is very close to Fort Knox, and that cell of activity is tracking off to the east. We have light to moderate rain locally, and you can see the rain stretches all the way back to the Wabash River. So we are going to get some rain off and on for the next couple of hours with occasional lightning. Now, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch, as I pointed out earlier. If we switch back to Action Scan, and that watch covers just about all of our viewing area until 3 a.m., but I have a feeling they're probably going to cancel that watch ahead of schedule. We have one area moving through now that is weakening, and you can see thunderstorms continue all the way back into Missouri around St. Louis. They've had a very stormy night with golf ball-sized hail there, but again, within the past hour or so, most of the activity is showing signs of weakening. And there are the clouds associated with this big thunderstorm cluster. And again, you can see those clouds go all the way back to Missouri. The tops on these thunderstorm clouds are up over 50,000 feet. Earlier today, around 6 o'clock, some of those cloud tops went up to about 55,000 feet. Well, in Louisville right now, with rain falling, our temperature is 69. Our humidity is 87%. Winds right now are out of the southwest at 8 miles an hour. A far cry from that 78-mile-an-hour gust we had at 6 o'clock. Pollution is in the good category. The barometer is kind of unsteady at 29.99 inches. Before the showers moved in, our temperature climbed to a very hot 91 degrees, our low 67. At the airport, a little less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall earlier this evening. The total for July, 1.11 inches. We don't have any frontal systems moving in. The cause of this bad weather has been instability at higher levels of the atmosphere. We're going to stay in this hot, humid air mass for the next few days, and that means a daily chance, especially during the afternoon, of more thunderstorm activity. Here's our forecast now. Overnight tonight, there will be a few thunderstorms rumbling around, but certainly not a repeat of what we had earlier today. The low will be near 67. For the day tomorrow, very hot and humid, and during the afternoon, those thunderstorms will fire up again, a high of 94. In fact, tomorrow night, we could still see some heavy thunderstorm activity around with a low of 76. On Wednesday, another day of thunderstorms with a high of 95. And then later in the weekend, toward the weekend, it does appear the air mass will stabilize. That means only the slightest chance of thunderstorms, but we won't get rid of the heat. It will be unbearably hot and humid right into the weekend.
It's what I would call instability.
Yes.
Thanks, Chuck. When we come back, using bees to soothe the pain of arthritis.
Thunderstorm activity south of Louisville, and the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Hardin and Bullitt County. The warning is in effect until 12:15. There is the storm very close to Fort Knox. It is tracking due east at about 40 miles an hour and should stay just south of the Louisville metropolitan area. So once again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Bullitt and North Hardin counties until 12:15 in the morning. And that's the latest on the weather.
Thanks, Chuck. A Jacksonville, Florida man has come up with an unconventional method of treatment for arthritis pain. Deborah Keith has more on how honeybees fit into an effort to reduce pain.
Richard Van Zandt is using one of his honeybees to sting 21-year-old Tracy Howard. Tracy suffers from arthritis in her wrist.
It's just a 24-hour aching from the bone out, and I just needed something to cure it. And the physicians don't have any cure for this kind of pain.
Van Zandt first numbs the spot to be stung with ice. He then lets the bee sting the arthritis sufferer on the swollen joint.
When the bee stings, as that little rascal did right there, it causes your body to create cortisone, and cortisone seems to be the thing that helps with the arthritis.
Doctors say many home remedies work, and this may be one of them. Researchers are now working on proof, but even so, getting bee stung can be dangerous.
The studies that have been done that haven't actually been published have found that it does sometimes offer some temporary relief of the joint. The synovium, which is the lining of the joint, will actually shrink down. No one knows the mechanism. Again, I would say if there was not any allergies to it, then I wouldn't try to talk them out of it. But I couldn't in good conscience recommend it because there's no scientific medical literature been published on it yet.
Doctors say you may not know if you're allergic to bees until you're stung, and that first sting can be fatal. Doctors say if it's proven that bees actually do help arthritis, they could eventually synthesize the venom and use less toxic forms for treatment. I'm Deborah Keith reporting.
Coming up in sports, Dave Conrad talks with Louisville's own Jody Mudd.
Until 3 a.m., and we do have one warning out, a severe thunderstorm warning for areas south of Louisville. That warning area is for Bullitt and North Hardin counties until 12:15 a.m., but it does appear the storms will be weakening after that, and I don't think we'll have too much problem after about 1 o'clock. So that's good news to look forward to.
To a lot of people in the area, and I just want to mention that many people have been working here in the building tonight without being able to go home and check on their own homes where they know there's property damage and their power is out. So thanks to all of you. Thank you for watching. Good night.
We now join Night Watch, already in progress.
So